Stamina is lame. It's garbage.
Just give up already. You're not gonna ever make it in life.
Come on, you're kidding yourself. Give up and become a chess player or something.
No, I will never return to my chess days. It is time for a revolution. Okay, let's just put everything into Sprinter and done. It's go time. This set will never lose. Okay, hold on. Before you leave the video because of that, no, that was a joke. Only my friend Jude, who actually runs track, would ever put that on his dumb build. Today, we are introducing possibly the greatest and easiest to make DPS Stamina Warden. This build is absolutely mind-blowing, literally hitting 100,000 DPS and making my dang game crash. In AoE fights, I have consistently hit 80k DPS and around 30k single target. And trust me, not only does this thing deal out the damage, it can also take quite a bit of damage on the other side.
I'm gonna Kevduit. Is it actually worth being a Stamina Warden over other stamina classes that are already pretty good?
Well, Question Elf, you utter piece of scum on the bottom of a pile of garbage, it definitely is. Although, most might wonder, Stamina Warden, eh? Well, I'll go with it because I have to. No. You're gonna go with the Stamina Warden because you want to. That's how builds work, okay? First off, boom, attribute points. And would you look at that? 64 stamina into a stamina build. That's incredible. And for our Mundastone, we have the Thief, just for those extra weapon criticals. For this Stamina Warden, we've got a Khajiit for their increase in health and stamina recovery, their potential stealth attacks, and their increase in weapon critical. Alright, moving on, let's talk about CP. I've learned a lot about proper CP allocation in the past week with the PTS, and have discovered something, that putting CP in here is practically useless. With my champion tree, I've got 100 into Mooncalf, 40 into Tenacity, cause a little bit of regen is nice, and 40 into Warlord for breaking free, 100 into Mighty, 70 into Piercing, and 40 into Precise Strikes, and finally 100 into Hardy, 60 into Elemental Defender, 30 into Thick Skinned, and 20 into Resistant. And please, if you disagree with this, go ahead and complain about it in the comments, because this works for me, and it seems to work pretty dang well.
But Kevduit, I disagree.
Alright, if you know how my build videos work, you know that the sets I tend to lead towards are the ones easier to acquire than, well, farming VMA, which is literally doing this. Therefore, on this set, I've got one new armor set and 2 armor sets acquired through casual grinds and dungeon runs. The new set we're rocking today is called Defilers. This set gives you more weapon damage, a ton of weapon crit, and finally a fantastic AoE pet thingy that literally just barfs on everyone. How fun is that? Next up, we've got that fancy Spriggan set that seems to be all the rage. This set gives you a fantastic boost to stamina, more weapon damage, and finally, that beautiful penetration that, in a way, makes you feel like you're barfing damage on enemies. Finally, we have one piece of Kraken, just to add to that penetration damage. So combined, Spriggans and adds about 6,000 physical penetration. You're gonna want just one piece of Defiler's armor, and I chose helmet because I want to look like a Bionicle. Then, all jewelry Defilers, and a 2-handed of Defilers, and finally, a Defiler's bow. Slap some weapon damage glyphs on that jewelry, for the armor throws stamina glyphs on everything. Next up, we've got our abilities, passives, and rotation. For your passives, you're going to want to focus on maxing out all of your Warden skill lines, your medium armor, and the first 3 in heavy armor, 2-handed, bow, Slayer, Banish the Wicked, and Skilled Tracker under the Fighters Guild, Undaunted passives, and finally, your racial passives. Anyways, on your 2-hander bar, your primary attack bar, focus on these abilities. Rearming Trap, great for locking enemies in place and gives you that beautiful minor force crit damage. Reverse Slice, your spam attack ability. I know that sounds dumb, but it's perfect for AoE and single target, surprisingly enough. Subterranean Assault, great for AoE control as well, deals out poison damage and reduces enemies' resistance. Camouflage Hunter, having that while slotted major savagery is beautiful, and that's what you want. Rally, which gives you major brutality just to add to the weapon damage, and that health perk that is pretty dang nice. Your ultimate here should be Dawnbreaker of Smiting, dealing a massive amount of damage to all enemies in front of you, stunning them, and dealing overtime damage. Switching to your buff bow, we've got Ice Fortress, a great ability that'll give you that nice resistance and minor protection, reducing that incoming damage. Arctic Blast, now this is a fun one. Not only does it heal you in a similar way to Rally, it also deals out slight frost damage to enemies in the area. Leeching Vines, you depend on this for heals, so remember to refresh it. When enemies attack you, you actually gain back health, and it gives you lifesteal to enemies that damage you. Endless Hail, like come on, do you expect a bow bar without this dang move? It literally rains down arrows on your enemies. Bird of Prey, this is a fun one too, primarily for the reason that it boosts your movement speed and gives you stamina recovery. Finally, for the ultimate, I have selected Permafrost. This deals a ton of AoE frost damage to nearby enemies, meaning that as you switch to your primary attack bar, you drag this frost damage right on in with ya. And now it's time for the rotation. Starting on your two-hander with a good old Rally. This is the longest duration ability you have, therefore use it first. Next, lay down a trap where you figure you'll pull all the enemies to. Now switch to your bow, use all of your buffs, and then end it off with an Endless Hail, targeting the heads of all of your enemies. If your Permafrost is up, use it now, as you're gonna have a Dawnbreaker within seconds of switching. Switch back to your two-hander, use a Shulk Assault to begin the 3-second wait duration, lay down another trap, and then go ham on these inferior nerds with Reverse Slice. For longer fights, obviously just continue to remember your bow bar buffs, continue to have an active Endless Hail, and always keep your Leeching Vines up for good heals. And there you have it, my first Stamina Warden PvE build, easy to make and dealing plenty of damage. But wait, 80k DPS doesn't look good enough to you? Well, do you want to solo a trial causing up to 300,000 damage per second? Because that build is...
What you